Greetings and welcome to this week's BFG review. As always, I want to thank anyone who's watched my previous videos and remind everyone to please like, share, and subscribe because it really does help grow the channel. Now, with that out of the way, on to this week's film, which is Turning Red. Directed by, and sorry about these pronunciations, Domei Shi, and starring Rosalie Chiang as Meilin, Sandra Oh as Ming, and Ava Morse as Miriam, and also starring Hyein Park, Maitreyi Ramakrishnan, Tristan Alec Chen, and James Hong. Turning Red is set in Toronto in 2002 and follows Meilin Mei Lee, a confident, dorky 13-year-old torn between staying her mother's dutiful daughter and the chaos of adolescence. Her protective, if not slightly overbearing mother, Ming, is never far from her daughter's side, an unfortunate reality for the teenager. And, as if changes to her interests, relationships, and body weren't enough, Mei is horrified to discover her newfound ability to transform into a giant red panda whenever she gets into a state of strong emotion. Luckily, with the help of her friends, she begins to learn how to control her new ability. But can she keep her secret safe from her mother, and will Mei and her friends make it to the Four-Town concert? Yeah, I'm just gonna come out and say it. I really like this film. I thought it was really cute, heartfelt. It was energetic, yet it knew when to be calm and especially had a lot of peaceful moments. It had a great message and the performances were all fantastic, which really helped the characters feel distinct and all the more real and relatable. Especially the lead, Meilin. She was amazing. She's just this energetic, confident, weird, dorky girl that loves doing well in school, is proud of it, loves to boast about it, but she can still get embarrassed, which is very easy to be embarrassed by her mother because, oh my gosh, her mother is just, she kind of starts as this like cliche overbearing mom, and what she puts her daughter through in some of the scenes, the embarrassment is just so rough. It's so, it was kind of difficult to sit through. If you watch The Office and you're a fan of that, you might like it because it's kind of that. But as the film progresses, we learn more about the way Ming is and why she is the way she is. And she becomes more human and she becomes more of a real character. Her friend group is also, they're all amazing. They're all very distinct characters with their own personalities. Miriam is the best friend. I will say she probably was a little bit bland. She didn't have a lot going for her. She was just kind of the main support character that Mei is connected to, but her other two friends, Priya and Abby, were amazing. Priya is also bland, but it was done in that intentional way where she's not necessarily boring, but she's just thoroughly unimpressed by everything and doesn't show a lot of emotions. But you can still tell, like, when the girls freak out over something cute, she also freaks out. You don't see it in her face so much, but you do see it in her eyes. Her eyes also like sparkle and glow. Also, like I said, Abby is like the exact opposite. She is dialed up to 11. Her face is just so expressive. She is bouncing off the walls, especially in the eyebrows. Her eyebrows will get you sometimes. They're just always in this just like angry expression, but she's never really angry. She's just always pumped. Like I said, the friend group just feels really real and it reminds you of like you and your friends when you were kids, and it's the definition of squad goals. Another character that was really great was Tyler, who was this like little punk kid who was kind of like their nemesis, who was like always the one who was picking on Mei and driving her crazy. But like there's a little bit of a twist with him at the end that I think really works, and I just think it was adorable. And each character has their like very own distinct way of moving and like reactions to things, which I think is great and just a testament to the animation. Like everything in this movie is just visually stunning. Everything looks amazing. The backgrounds are incredibly detailed, but not in that way where it like stands out from the characters, where it's like almost more detailed from the characters and doesn't fit, kind of like how I said it does in Frozen 2. And they do this really cool thing where they put 2D animation over a couple things that really helps them like stand out. It's kind of reminding me of the animation in Spider-Man Spider-Verse. Like I said, it looks amazing. There were a couple times where the 2D didn't kind of stuck out a bit more than I think they wanted it to. But all in all, this film was incredible. And like I said, there were a couple moments where the film just took a second or two just to breathe and show some beautiful imagery and show some landscapes. And this film really needed it because, like I said, it's a very energetic film. There's a lot of stuff happening. The story, though, is very heartwarming, and it's told at a near perfect pace. There is one moment near the end, probably like 2/3 of the way in, where a couple weeks goes by in what feels like a day. It feels like one night has passed, but then you find out it's been a couple weeks. You're like, oh, okay, that seems weird. Like, why didn't we see anything in that couple weeks? But anyway, other than that, the story was told perfectly. It was slightly predictable, but I think it being a family film, it gets a somewhat pass. But there was enough in it that it was engaging. So even if I kind of knew how the film was going to end, I still wanted to know how they were going to get to the end. And there was a couple things that I wasn't 100% sure on. An example is that there's a choice that needs to be made at the start of the climax. And I thought I knew what the outcome was going to be since like the start of the film, but I was really second guessing myself during the climax and like when the choice is made. I'm like, oh my gosh, you have to make this choice. You have to make this choice. I can't believe they're going to make this choice. And they, whether they do or don't, I'm not going to spoil, but it really made me like second guess myself, third guess myself and be like, no, I'm right. No, I'm wrong. There's also a like betrayal in this film that kind of doesn't come out of nowhere, but it's unexpected and it honestly hurts more than you think it would. And I think that's because it doesn't come from the person you think it would. And that's all I'm going to say. Again, I don't want to spoil anything. The film is decently funny too. There's a lot of background and visual gags throughout the film, and most of the humor comes through the characters and the way they interact with each other and the world around them. Abby, like I said, I found especially hilarious because of her crazy energy and honestly, like I said, her eyebrows. The film has a great message about like accepting yourself and not just like accept like the base level of accepting yourself. It's accepting all parts of you, that you're not gonna like every single side of you or everything that's a part of you, but you gotta have to accept it. Personally, I get angry. I have some anger issues, and you know, that's something I have to deal with. It's something I have to accept if I want to progress in life. Another message more for the adults is letting your kids discover who they are. You know, this film is equally just for much for adults as it is for kids. There's also some spectacular visual storytelling throughout the film. It informs the audience of like certain events and what happens by showing them rather than the characters just outright saying it. I will say I do have a couple of criticisms. I saved them for the end because they were smaller and I'm not sure everyone's going to feel the same way, especially for the film being set in 2002. I personally didn't understand the need for that, and I think it would have been fine if it was just set in like the modern day or more of like a timeless modern day, if you will. But I've seen a lot of people online say that it's wonderfully nostalgic. They have the Tamagotchi pets in there, but other than that, I feel like she could have just been a fan of those, or that could have been a thing in this world that happened nowadays. I don't know. It didn't justify the setting of 2002 for me. It could have just been set in any year. Also, the film opens with May directly addressing the audience, which I enjoyed. I thought it was cute and fun. I thought like it was going to happen kind of like an Emperor's New Groove, Deadpool kind of way, where she will break the fourth wall and address us. But that doesn't happen really. It happens at the start when she kind of introducing herself in the world. But after that, the film just kind of drops it. And also, I kind of miss actual villains from children's films. Fast food films, especially from Disney, were more like antagonists rather than outright villains. And most of those antagonists were just like misguided parents. Honestly, Disney is like taking a lot of shots at parents right now, instead of, you know, in the past when they literally took shots at parents. In the end, though, despite what I felt like was an unnecessary setting and the seemingly lack of villains, Turning Red is another welcome addition in Pixar's stellar library. With charming characters, stunning visuals, and a heartwarming story centered around family and learning who you are, Turning Red earns an A letter grade and the BFG tier seal of approval. So those are my thoughts on the film. Let me know your thoughts on the film, as well as your thoughts on the drawing in the comment section down below. Also, if you want to hear me have more in-depth discussions on film, check out I Know You with Derrik and Jamie anywhere you find podcasts. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and hit that bell icon to be notified anytime I release a new video. Thanks everyone, and have a great day.